Jennifer Miller, Director of Planning and Building.
Philip Mullen, Planning Building Coordinator.
Bonnie Tucker, Select Board Liaison to the Planning Board.
Sarah Steinberg-Heller, alternate.
Gary Gorski.
Lisa Stone.
Paul Staley.
Michael McGill.
Stephanie Hurley.
Andrew Dunbar.
All right, we have a full complement today, so we don't. So the first thing before us is a continued public hearing, conditional use permit application submitted by Mason Parker for removal of invasive dead hazardous trees in the Wetlands Protection Overlay Zone and to restore the buffer in order to replace a failed septic system at 3 Elm Hill Road, parcel number 0U001. 014000, located in the Family District, Rural District, and Wetlands Protection Overlay. And I see Mr. Green is here.
Yep.
Please.
Good evening, everybody. For the record, my name is Chris Gaida with Fieldstone Land Consultants. Some of you were at the site walk with the Conservation Commission, and we went over took a look at the area. I do have the new plans. At the time, we just had pass those around and size ones for blind people like this. But at the time, we talked about making sure that the septic system obviously was in compliance with the state regulations as well as the town buffer.
We can share.
So we've located the leach field outside of the buffer as well as it's basically 20 feet beyond the buffer. So none of the grading or anything goes into the wetland buffer as it is now. So the vegetation that's there, it still has vegetation and ground cover and new growth coming up. What Mr. Parker did is basically cut. There was a bunch of hazard trees in there, a couple of really large ones, and some other ones that needed to be cleared in order to replace the leach field at the property. So that's been done. That's been, cleaned up in accordance with the Conservation Commission's recommendations on the site walk. There was a couple of other dead trees that hadn't been cut yet, which they agreed were, a hazardous situation, and they said that those could come down. The vegetation that's there is regrowing as it is. And we're proposing to plant some native vegetation, probably high bush blueberries, and maybe other couple shrubs or something, but it is coming back by itself. The work that was done, there was no ground disturbance at all. There's no grubbing, anything like that that would really be a risk to the intermittent stream that goes by there. So I don't see any hazard as far as unstable situation that would affect the wetlands. So here's the new septic plan approved by the state, and looking forward to getting that installed. I think the contractor said he could get there within a couple, 3 weeks.
So are you familiar with the report that the Conservation Commission has provided us?
I have not seen that.
Actually, I have a copy. Oh, she got it. But if you would like actually a copy, I can give it to you.
Sure. I mean, you could send it to me.
Yeah,
I can do that.
Oh, okay.
Just for the file.
Is this plan already approved?
It is.
The plan, yeah.
Because the plan says proposed.
It's a proposed, what do you mean?
If it says proposed.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the-
Well, that's, yeah, here's
Okay,
the-
little statement, okay.
You're right.
It's a proposed new field there.
So, yeah, I just wanted to make sure you were familiar with this because the board is going to be interested in you and Mr. Parker's response to that.
Would number 2 be the regrowth that's already happening? The native plant species? Or
Well, I can let,
Okay.
go ahead. And
Yeah,
usually-
I'm sorry that you haven't seen this before.
Yeah.
I should have checked to make sure that you both were. At the site visit, it was confusing because
Just-
we don't.
Just
yeah.
identify yourself.
Conservation Commission, Francie Von Rittens, thank you. At the site visit, we weren't thinking clearly. And our letter doesn't mention anything about replacement blueberry bushes or anything. We didn't see any, this is upon meeting and discussing afterwards, digesting, chewing things over rather than right then and there. We saw no need to do blueberry plantings. It is naturally vegetated. True, it's a lot of invasive stuff, but that's the world we live in. So, and we would like to, on that, we haven't seen the plans, and it's very unusual not to have us know I have this, but to have them in advance so we can, but I think you'll probably look at these and request Conservation Commission to take another month to look at these and make comment on them. So it's the question of how much out of, so anyway, there's no mitigation in terms of plantings. We do suggest, and it was, I think, you're agreeable, that we'll see on the plans that there's an area within the Wetlands Protection Overlay Zone that is pure sand and attempting to be for parking. And it was agreed that that would be an area to have some natural vegetation come in. And I think that's referred to
And I can,
there.
I can show the board that area. It's basically where the garage is here.
Right.
Can that plan be displayed, so?
I can project the old plan. I don't have this one.
Yeah, that's okay. We can take that, you can show them that big one.
State should have sent you one. I don't know if it goes to you or not.
It goes to Linda first.
Okay. So Elm Hill Road right here, and then this is the existing garage. So the area that Francie is talking about is basically here. And this is all gravel, like sand and gravel. There's a lot of folks that utilize Mr. Parker's property to pull over here for a million different reasons.
Oh, yeah.
So, but
It's constantly being parked
Yeah.
on by everybody there, and, yeah.
So making it muddy might be good.
Well, I think you'd almost have to put like a big boulder there or
Yeah,
something to keep the standard traffic from pulling over there.
Well, I think if you, I don't know if this is a conversation we have now, but I think if you take out some of the gravel, put in topsoil and plant it, no one's gonna park there. And it's in the Wetlands Protection Overlay Zone, which is supposed to be naturally vegetated. So to bring that up to code would mean make it naturally vegetated. And then it has a buffering factor function. And it's a sloped area, and so rather than having runoff go into the stream, there'll be some natural vegetation to create a buffer there.
Right. And I think that, that would be basically right along with that steep bank.
That's, yeah.
And,
Yeah, here's the Wetlands Protection Overlay Zone, which we like to have colored green on maps. And this area here is gravelly, and this is gravel here. So within the Wetlands Protection Overlay Zone, bring in some topsoil, plant this in.
well, some of that, I think that's still kind of a functioning building, right, the garage. So
Oh.
there has to be an access, either, like right in here. I think what you said is excellent, but right in this area here, right before the bank, but the whole thing goes way out into the driveway here. So I was thinking more basically a car spot, probably 10 to 12 feet wide along the bank so that was vegetated. And still leaving a little bit of space there in the gravel area.
How do you access the garage? I thought it was,
Where's the door?
This is this is actually, again, I apologize, this is a draft and that footprint is incorrect. It's actually square.
I have
I
an
could borrow
aerial.
one of these. Yeah, so it's actually square, so here's the garage right here. So, yeah, and then this is, you know, kind of a decent steep bank here, so I'm thinking like this area right here. This gets all reclaimed.
Well, the issue there.
I think the access is right in the front here, right?
Yeah, it's in the front. Yeah, people
Well, what-
kind of walk around.
Okay, thank you. Ariel. Okay, here's the garage.
Yeah.
In the Wetlands Protection Overlay Zone, the garage building is in it, and it's there. At this sandy place here, it's, would be the revegetated area.
Right, but this is fairly flat up at the top here.
But
I think-
it's in the Wetlands Protection Overlay Zone.
Well, it is, but it's existing too. I mean, it's an existing building, it was there probably long before the overlay existed. I'm not saying we shouldn't replant that section, but the replanting this whole area, I think, would be excessive, and that would basically be restrictive to accessing that and the property. That's all.
Well, the access, right.
Yeah.
But it could be like a driveway into the garage from the main road, and if it wasn't so open, cars wouldn't pull over there. That's all.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, I think what we want to see is,
Can we leave it that when we are considering this, we will have the Concom and you finalize those details? But I think I just wanted to make sure you were aware of what we were looking at.
Carl, could I just say something
Yeah, I'm gonna let everybody have a chance.
from the staff report? It's worded that the Director of Planning and Building, they would work with that. I mean, it's a statement here that it's
Well-
recommended for us.
But Danica did that because she hadn't yet received the Concom's report. That's why she filled that in herself, if we hadn't received that report by the time.
Okay,
Because
so
when
the Concom will
when
take
she
it
gave
over.
that to us, she hadn't gotten that yet. So that would have been a condition, those would have been conditions had we not received it. I think at this point, we're just usually do what we do, which is use Concom directly.
I don't know, I just, waiting an entire another month, I just feel like we had the letter from them, and we have.
The month thing, I don't think that's particularly, no, we're not, they wouldn't, I'm suggesting not coming back to us. All they're doing is
okay.
just those two.
Approving with a condition.
Yeah, we just do it, approve the condition, and they don't come back to us at all, so there's no more waiting there at all. Hold on, we're not gonna open the public yet. Before we do that, I'm just gonna, Stephanie had her input. Gary, is there anyone else that's? Yes, Lisa.
Does Stephanie have something else to say?
Well, go ahead, Lisa.
Okay. Danica, I just have a question about the tank size being 1250 when this is a 4-bedroom home and a retail space. So to me, it seems like it should have expanded capabilities for a public restroom. Isn't a public restroom a requirement in a retail space?
For a retail space it is, but I don't have any jurisdiction over what the state does and doesn't
This is
approve.
for a 6-bedroom.
That was the initial, it's basically just a 4-bedroom design right now for the house. Right now, there's no loading going into the retail space. I think what you have there is, there's no public bathrooms accessible. So the only
That
loading.
seems like poor planning.
Well, that's the only, right now, if someone wanted to buy it and put in a retail, a shop or a coffee shop or something like that, then we could definitely upsize the design, but that's a lot of extra cost for the current owner who's not doing that.
Just to clarify, so I don't have much to do with septic design, but when it comes to Tim, so if someone were to buy this property or if they were looking to add a retail space, Tim would want
But
to
it
see.
is already approved for a retail space.
So if they're adding to it, say a restaurant or a hotel,
Okay.
when Tim gets that application that there's something being added or changed, he looks to see receipt that the state subsurface bureau has approved an acceptable capacity for whatever those uses are. So if that was to change and it wasn't just for the bedrooms, he would be looking that it's sized correctly.
So,
Yes.
can I?
Yes, go ahead.
So I had the same concern, because it was approved by the zoning board for a retail cafe, and I know that Mr. Parker has said that it's not going to be a cafe, that he's not thinking about that right now. But I agree with what Lisa's saying is, it seems kind of unclear, and I think that we need to have it clear that this is only an approval for what they're asking for, and that is a 4-bedroom
Right. I can
building
clarify.
with a retail business, but not a cafe or a coffee
Correct.
shop kind of business. Is that correct?
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Parker.
Yes, the plan is retail. If I may, to just kind of focus, the applications for conditional use permit for the revegetation of the area, I didn't ask permission from the board respectively about a septic. I'm going through the state and the planning for that. This is a conditional use permit with that building that is within the Wetland Protection Overlay was being crowded and harmed by the vegetation that was around it. And then while I had to take down trees to fix this septic problem, I had them remove it, for which I was told I wasn't allowed to do that. Thought the building's been there, they're damaging the building. So I was asked to go through this process for the tree removal. I was trying to be forthwith and let everyone know what I'm trying to do and why I was even cutting trees. And so I feel like the question before the board is the conditional use permit for the revegetation. And then with that, I'm trying to sell the property at the moment, and I would like to move forward with that. I have some interested buyers, but I would like to have things finalized so that I can propose those things. And if I have to keep meeting with other boards, conservation commissions and things like that, these things can get drawn out for an extended period of time, and I would like to have just a consensus of essentially what needs to be done so that this conditional use permit is approved. And if there's, a site walk that the conservation wants to do afterwards, I'm fine with that. But I would like to have something finalized and in writing to say this is what the conditions are, and the Conservation Commission, what they proposed, I'm fine with. They were saying that it's native plants there, I'm fine with that. If they would like some topsoil things brought in for some of that area, I don't mind doing that. I think, as Chris was saying, bringing it all the way out and essentially enclosing the entire building with loam is not a good idea. So, I would like to maybe try to add some to maybe up to the front of the building or slightly back and try to do that, and that would make it a lot better than it is without completely cutting off the building from it. It's a public road. I'm sure there's a lot of plow trucks and sand and salt going. There's not going to be a lot of things that are going to survive up against that road. So it's probably going to remain, if you look down the aerial view, there's a lot on the side of that road it looks like gravel. So I could bring in some loam and try to grow something there, but I wouldn't feel comfortable fully enclosing it. I feel comfortable with, bringing it out to about here, something like that, and compromising and saying that's the best we can really do, leave the access open. But those would be my concerns that, I know the septic has become a big issue, but that's not really before the board. And I would love to work with the conservation if that's agreeable to them to bring in that loam and try to plant. I would love to do that, and if that made them more comfortable with it, that's fine.
But I just want to complete my thought that it's it's very important that if you're wanting to sell this, that it's very clear to the people who are buying what they're allowed to do and what you're selling.
Yeah.
And I think that it's important, especially where you did bother to go to the zoning board and get approval for moving the cafe there, that it seems like, you know, we want to make it very clear that this plan at this point is not going to include a cafe, just so you know. I really
Right,
think,
and that's-
and I think that that's our job as a planning board, even though right now you're asking for a conditional use permit. You know, that's just my feeling. I don't know about the rest of the board. But I
Right,
think it's
and this is-
important that this is clear.
He can only do, I mean, with this approval, that's all they're approved to do. So no one can change that without, you know, they would have to go before, you know, the planning department and the, so that, we don't have to decide that. I mean, we just have to, as he said, decide what we're doing about this, you know, site that he's dealing with.
And
Yes,
just-
Sarah?
I just think that I do think we have a lack of focus here.
Yeah, I'm
I-
trying to refocus.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, anyone else on the board have input on this?
Can I just say something to
Yes,
clarify for the
please.
record? From what I see on these plans that you've given, there's no proposed leach field or septic in the Wetland Protection Overlay Zone at all. So none of what you're asking to be approved has anything to do with the septic.
Right. Right. I'm getting ready to open up to the public. So if there's no further from the board, we'll open the public comments. And Francie?
I don't think that conditional use permit's needed. The reason we were out there was the first plan had the leach field a couple feet from the Wetlands Protection Overlay Zone, and they needed 20 feet of access for bulldozing and everything, and those were going to be impacts to the Wetlands Protection Overlay Zone, and that needs a conditional use permit. When we were out there, it seemed that you could move everything so as to have no impacts on the Wetlands Protection Overlay Zone, so there's no need for a conditional use permit.
Thank you.
Well,
I think that's really difficult to hear from the Conservation Commission because the regulations say it's to remain naturally vegetated, and the whole reason we went out there was because they were clear cutting and what we believe to be the wetlands in shoreline, and what we've established is that they did clear cut in the wetlands.
I think
But
we
if the
were-
Conservation Commission is fine by that, then I would say then there needs to be a revision of the regulations.
If you look at our code, it says naturally vegetated, and then it says in parenthesis, not a lawn. And typically it's applied to new construction, okay, put the buffer there, and there is natural vegetation there. And adding some blueberry bushes are not going to increase the functions and values of the buffer because it is naturally. There's a lot of trees, there's ground cover, you know, there's the tiered 1, 2, 3 overstory. And it was Swift Corwin, our tree guy, who was very much a part of this conversation. And it's in our minutes from our Concom meeting. And that we did not see. And again, we're not perfect on we thought we were there for forestry. We discovered that the leach field was going to have impacts. And so that became the focus. Move it, there won't be impacts. And the forestry, we don't mention mitigation there for lost impacts, because we don't, you would need a functional analysis of what are the impacts, functions, and values of the buffer, what were lost because of the tree cutting. And you can go through that, but you would not, in our expertise, we've been doing this for a while, you would not find a loss of functions and values. And I would agree that we're at a stage where Mason, you know, we go out there with some people that know, we just don't want people parking there. And,
We can work that out.
And it would be good to have some vegetation to increase buffer. And that would be sort of a good thing to do for nature, and I think Mason's agreeable to that. Don't see it to be hugely costly.
My understanding is we're here because of the work that was done prior. And so basically what you're doing is you're getting the approval you needed to before, so.
It's
so that's-
housekeeping. We're doing
We're
housekeeping.
housekeeping, yeah. So I think that's where we are. Is there further public input? If not, I'd like the board to consider wording a decision.
Could we just see the plan of where the septic leach field is in relation to the wetlands protection overlay
We don't
zone?
have the new one that we can put up
Oh,
there.
yeah.
We just have it in,
I can't.
Yeah, sorry.
Pretty small. I see the,
It's outside.
Yeah,
Give
and
her
it
that
seems,
word, but-
it seems
And the
that
state
you have,
approved it.
you've got the 20 feet that you need for
Yeah.
the bulldozer.
So this is,
So
the
here's the buffer.
buffer's here.
Okay, and
Yeah,
then,
this is the
and
side.
then the
So I
bulldozers.
Are we including the conditional
We're
We're
on
not,
here?
right, we're not
alignment?
proposing it here.
well, we're just,
Okay.
I think we're going to basically
Great.
talk about approving this conditional use. With the, based on the new plan, with any cooperation and input from the Conservation Commission. I
So-
think that's basically what we're doing.
So are we, if we make a proposal to approve this with conditions, are we putting a number of like feet or something further? Like I see Mr. Parker and Francie pointing to this area, like, 'cause
I don't want to get into the weeds there. I don't think we need to, because basically the only thing I see that we're not just saying we approve it is that there's this sandy area that they're going to get together and sort of figure out what to do with. But we don't have to stipulate, I don't think, any conditions on that,
Okay.
other than they're going to do it.
Okay,
So they're gonna do it, but to Sarah's point, it's not gonna have numbers or
Right.
specific outline
No.
or anything
I'm
like
just
that.
concerned about the applicant ending up not feeling like there's compromise, or the Conservation Commission feeling like there's not compromise. So that's the reason I'm asking about like actual values. I'm not pushing for them.
Well, we can,
I just want to be like, are we saying expand it 5 feet further, or are we like leaving it really just open and to interpretation?
Right. Or we
Between-
could say that 50% of the area west of the garage, between the garage and the road, be vegetated.
Right, but like, that's a huge number,
Well-
but anyway.
Could we just use the sentence that Danica used, but change it to work with the Conservation Commission to remediate the impact within the Wetlands Protection Overlay Zone as agreeable between the parties, so that
That's very
You-
easily.
if you
That's
ask,
super easily.
well, I mean, if
Well-
it seems like Francie is saying that they're pretty willing to work with him, and they just want a little bit of more wetlands impact, buffer.
basically, all they're looking for is to have access to the garage.
I think we should just request that they meet with the Conservation Commission to get advice on how to do it. I mean, I'm just saying,
That's it.
but just input, and then we can just send it. Because this is an area that wasn't, not that I don't want them to do something, and they're saying they'll do something, but we're talking about an area that has nothing to do with the work they're doing, that's been there forever. And I'm just saying, we're like getting hung up on just suddenly, they're doing work over here, and then we're just
Right.
jumping out.
Well,
to this
because
type of
before, it was impacting, so they've done change the plan, and we didn't see that plan until
Yeah,
tonight.
but,
So
yeah,
we
but I mean,
now
the-
realize that it's not really impacting
yeah,
the area that we were concerned about.
yeah. I know, but we're just jumping to
So
another
that's it.
area that doesn't have any work in it. So I think beyond requesting that they meet with the Conservation Commission to get their input on where it should be.
You want to word it?
That wording I'm comfortable with.
Okay.
Okay.
I move that we approve this conditional use permit, conditional on the applicant meeting with the Conservation Commission to receive their input on how best to provide, what do I say?
Increased buffer function.
To increase buffer functionality in the area west of the existing garage.
All right. With that, we have that written down. Very good. So do I have a second?
Sorry.
All right. All in favor?
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
That was harder.
You missed it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I never,
Thank you so much.
I never was
Thank you for your, thank you so much. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you.
I think we did the complaints on that.
All right. So that brings us to number
17?
3. Public hearing, site plan review application submitted by Jasen Woodworth to construct their business Homeplace Farm plus Market at 201 Union Street, parcel number U029-027-000, located in the General Residence District and Rural District. This proposal seeks to construct a mixed-use building comprised of farm market on the first floor and 2 one-bedroom apartments on the second floor, and includes the construction of 2 30 by 72 greenhouses. And before we begin, we have, well, Bonnie is...
Oh, she already jumped.
We do not need to replace her, so
Okay.
she's irreplaceable. So please.
Yes, thanks for having us. My name is Jasen Woodworth. This is my partner, Elizabeth Pendleton Wheeler. For the last 5 years, we've been running what's called Newbie River Farm. We're located at the New Benusik community. So I'll orient you just quickly here. Right across is Steel Road right here, and the New Benusik community is down in this area. This is the parcel in question. And so Bonnie lives at the community, and we lease just basically across Union Street right now for the last 5 years from the community. Personally, I've been farming for 12 years in this area. I used to run Farmer John's plot over in Dublin, and we started Newbie River Farm in 2021. Elsa herself has 9 years of experience farming as well. We're a certified organic vegetable farm. We have usually do a CSA, Community Supported Agriculture Farm, which is like weekly shares. Members come to the community. We've had as many as 100 members. Last year was our biggest year. This year we're taking the year off of CSA to focus on this project, to plan this project. But we still have a little farm store at the community. And yeah. That's basically what we've been doing. We grow certified organic vegetables. We're certified with Bay State certifiers in Massachusetts, which means we don't spray chemical fertilizers, chemical pesticides, any synthetic things like that. We are changing our name from Newbie River Farm to Homeplace Farm. We filed a DBA with the state. We're just waiting on approval. So this is going to be called Homeplace Farm and Market. So in 2023, we purchased this field because it has great exposure on Union Street. We're, right next to West Peterborough. Nature's Green Grocer is our biggest wholesale client, so we do a lot of wholesale vegetables. We also sell to Roy's Market here downtown. And selling wholesale, we get between 50 and 60% of our retail costs. So if we sell a bag of lettuce mix for $6 at the farmer's market or our farm store, we're getting $4 for that when we sell it wholesale. So a retail store in this location would, benefit our farm greatly. We'd be able to make more money by selling direct. So CSA is also direct to customer. It's also, kind of our passion. We really enjoy doing CSA direct to customer. In the years I farmed, I've always had a farm store. It's very fun. We started with a small closet, like a 8 by 12 closet at the New Benusik community, and we've upgraded to a horse stall, a retired horse stall these last couple of years. The problem with our farm now, location leasing from the community, is no one knows that we're in this community. Only by word of mouth is kind of how we've gotten out there. So, people drive on Union Street all day. They see we do have a sign across the street on this current parcel, but no one knows that we're right on Steel Road. No one comes back there except our direct customers. So this is a lot more visibility for us. We also purchased this parcel because it has prime agricultural soils, which means very low rocks. It's well drained. It holds moisture well. So a huge priority of us in building this store is to preserve those open fields, to not, go deeper into the parcel and to disturb the soils which we can farm, grow vegetables. Yeah, and you can see this is a wetlands map, so we do have quite a bit of wetlands on the property. So we usually, for organic certification, we maintain buffers around the whole entire farm. We do have buffers up to the wetland, usually 25 to 50 feet buffers we're maintaining with natural vegetation, grass or sod. And when we first purchased the property, we had a lot of excitement from our abutters. A lot of them called us. A lot of them are current customers of ours, either at the farmer's market or just come to our farm store all the time. So I'll go through the project. That's just a little bit of background on us. The project itself basically contains 3 pretty important parts for us. The first is a retail space, which it's about 2,000 square feet. So a lot of it is, displays of vegetables. We also buy in a lot of local products. 98% of all of the products we sell in our store are local, within 100 miles. We buy from Food Connects, which is a local aggregator of products within the region. Some comes from Rhode Island, upstate New York. We have frozen pizzas, we have ice cream from Walpole, Creamery in Walpole. We have, local honey, different things like that. So, but it's mostly our organic vegetables and eggs. We raise pastured chickens. So yeah, it'll be a retail space for display of that, but also a commercial kitchen. The commercial kitchen would allow us to process excess produce, which a lot of times on farms gets wasted. They don't have a market for it. They'll either compost it or maybe we feed some of it to our chickens. So a commercial kitchen would have a huge impact on us. We'd be able to freeze, process, can, pickle products to sell all year round. So the basic reason we want this farm store, a huge priority, is to extend our season, process those vegetables, freeze them, preserve them so we can have, a market all year, because, farms are very seasonal in this region. We can extend it with our greenhouses, but it only goes so far into the year. The third piece, I guess, the retail space and the commercial kitchen 1 and 2, we'd like 2 apartments. So they're very small apartments on the 2nd floor. The first one is 636 square feet, the second one is 714 square feet. So pretty modest apartments. The reason we want these is because it's really hard to attract good farm labor without housing, especially in a more expensive region like this. So these smaller apartments will allow us to attract local people that don't have housing, people that might be, from a couple towns away that want to live closer or on farm, as well as possibly attracting people from further away, either through woofing, which is a volunteer program where you house people on the farm in exchange for room and board, basically. Also, there's a lot of great people that are at universities, that want internships, so this would be housing for them, which is something that our farm has lacked for, its entire life, pretty much. So pretty modest apartments there. They will, because of the size of them, they will be affordable. We don't see ourselves charging an exorbitant rent. We are aware of the workforce housing requirements, that it's, I think it's, 60% of your income would be $51,000 for this area. I know a lot of you are probably on the Workforce Housing and Affordable Housing Committee. So basically, the math works out to, we would be able to charge under that workforce housing about $1,200. And that's actually at the higher end of what we thought we would charge anyway. So these would fall probably under that threshold of even in workforce housing. Let's see here. Then the location of the store itself, we're in a dual zone lot. So we're in general residence for the first 200 feet, as a lot of you are probably aware. And then we're in the rural district for the rest of it. The parcel is about 21 acres total. So we're basically putting it right on that line because in the rural district, they don't allow mixed use buildings, so we couldn't have apartments above a retail space. And in general residence, commercial agriculture sales basically aren't allowed. So we're kind of riding that line, and within the language of the swing zone, which I'm sure you've heard Danica talk about, and we've talked about this with Danica several times. There is allowed a 50-foot swing. I'll read it for you. 245-19C, where a boundary line divides a lot of record, the regulations for either district of such lot may extend up to 50 feet into the other district, provided the lot has frontage on a street in the district that is being extended. So we have lot frontage on Union Street, and we also have technically lot frontage on McDowell for the rural district. So then we can get into some details here. So what does the impact look like for our abutters? What does the impact look like on Union Street itself? The most impact would be our closest neighbor here, which is the old Tenny Fritz and Combs vet, which is 2 apartments currently. We've contacted Gene, and he is well aware of this project. He's a farmer in Jaffrey himself, and he rents out these 2 apartments. There is if you've driven by the parcel, I'm sure most of you know the parcel, there's a very nice natural hedge here that already exists, which will buffer a lot of the sound coming from the retail space, as well as the light. We do have a light map too. So sound would be an issue, traffic coming in will be an issue. So we want to minimize those impacts, of course. We do have a lighting map, which Danica will probably pass around, but we have minimal lighting on the exterior. Basically, we have an outdoor single light. They're all going to be down facing lights, dark sky lights. I think maybe passing the photo around as well. Minimal lighting directly to this abutter. Most of the impact would be toward the rear. The apartments are actually here and not, this is more of a barn and office if they're using it as. So a lot of the impact, including like small, the compressors for the walk-in cooler that we would like for the retail space, would be on the back. And I think we do have like stuff we can project to later, but we have the parking diagrams and everything as well. So the driveway comes in, there's parking on the side of the building. There's also parking for the apartments and heading here. The other closer abutter that would be impacted are Sally and David Eller. We know him as Fuzz Eller. Very friendly. We've talked to them over the years, the last couple of years we've owned it. They're excited with what we're doing. Obviously, we want to minimize their impact as they're the ones that are basically for the entire thing. We do want to have these 2 greenhouses, mostly for spring plant sales, as well as our own seedlings to produce on site. We do want flower plantings out front, and we can maybe switch. Do you have all that stuff? So that's the swing zone there. Yeah, so here's the site. This is an existing driveway that we installed last year, which got approval. Normally it's paved. The required distance in, I forget exactly if it's 20 feet or something in. And then we go to a slight gravel driveway, and we just shortened it. But we will eventually put a hard pack gravel. So a lot of this will be a gravel parking lot and out back as well. So we have apartment parking. This will be, we do get deliveries of smaller box trucks, not huge box trucks. That would just pull in here, unload, and pull out. We made sure the turning radiuses were good for, a mid-sized box truck. We wouldn't have a tractor trailer pull in here. So yeah, we have it. We're not doing the parking on the front just to decrease that visibility from the road. We would like it on the side here, also minimizing seeing it from the road, having it on the back as well. We would like to do herb plantings, obviously, to minimize the visual impact to the road. We do pick your own herbs with our CSA. We do pick your own flowers. So we want some flower plantings down here as well to buffer some of the, the effect that greenhouses do have on farms. We have a natural swale that already exists here. If you can visualize the parcel. Not sure exactly when it was installed. I know that when they were developing West Peterborough a bit, in the early 2000s, this was used as like a parking lot for all the equipment. So I'm not sure if it was installed then or prior. But there is about I believe it's a 1 to 2 foot culvert that already exists under Union Street. So a lot of the runoff from this gravel will be in this grassed waterway already. That's already existing. So we want to reduce impact on the already existing swale there. And to kind of use it to our benefit. It's a already vegetated grassed waterway going into a 1 foot culvert. It goes under Union Street. On the other side of the culvert, there's a talus slope that already exists there, as well as several feet until the Newton-Neuset stream. Yeah. Oh yes, and I just wanted to, I was looking at our master plan because I know there's a few things about farming in there. I just wanted to read you a couple things from page 31 of the master plan. Peterborough only has a few remaining working farms. These are mostly horse or cattle farms. One raises fruits and vegetables. They're referring to Rosalie's farm, probably. They do mention in this and the next one. In addition to their economic value, farms provide connection to Peterborough's rural past, add diversity to the landscape, including sweeping views to the horizon, serve as important buffers between developed areas. And then the last thing, page 250, local agriculture, although smaller than before, is still part of the town's fabric, as evidenced in Rosalie's Organic Farm, the town's community garden, and the summer farmers market. So we know Alex over at Rosalie's well. So there's just a few pieces of the master plan there. We think this is going to be a huge benefit to the area because farming is all about community. We've been pushing farms to the outskirts for a long time, and I think this is an exciting project to kind of bring the farms back to the center of people's lives. And that's what we've been doing at the Newton-Neuset community for years, and hope to continue to do that here. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, basically the only thing that I see is the swing thing, which Danica has really brought to our attention in the staff report. We now have a lighting plan to. Oh, that's right. First thing we're going to do is see if I have a proposal to find this application substantially complete. So moved.
I move
All in favor?
to accept it as substantially complete.
All in favor? There you go. Okay, now we can just see if anyone has, there's not much more to say. But any board input?
I have lots of questions.
I got a couple questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
You go first.
You go
Mike.
first.
Sure. And just two questions. One, in regards to the apartments, you mentioned for farm staff, but you're not limiting it to farm staff.
We would like to not limit it,
Sure.
just in case, a farm stay would be great, that farms need sources of revenue, right? Multiple sources of revenue, so we want to keep it open to, have a farm stay. So we don't want to limit it, but it will be, our focus primarily will be finding like good workers for this property.
But if Joe Bag of Donuts showed up and says, hey, I know you've got an apartment there, can I rent it?
We would probably hope that they fall within our vision, but they would primarily be kept for farm workers and farm visitors, primarily. I don't think we just rent.
Not at all. Very good. Perfect.
That's great.
And then my other
As long
question.
as you don't care what color they are.
Right.
I mean, that's,
And then just one question, the existing swale, where is the access to get to the proposed greenhouses? You're not going to penetrate that swale?
Yeah, sorry. So that is up here.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, no worries.
Very good.
It's a big poster. Yeah, so this would be, as you can see, the primary parking is here for the day-to-day, and then it would be here that we would have people walking across the gravel driveway, and then I'm sure we would do just some walking paths to the flower, pick your own. There wouldn't be, well, we hope, with signage, we'd hope people wouldn't just walk up. The swale is quite, it's quite dramatic. It's not like you'd be walking down and then you'd be walking up. So the traffic for people and as well as just driving would be here.
Very good. Thank you.
And you, Lisa?
yeah. Danica, what is the parking spaces needed per square feet of retail?
It's 2 parking spaces per 1,000 square feet. So they have a little over 2,000, I think, 2,100.
So like 5 spaces.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I believe we have 14 proposed.
They have more than they would need for both the farm use and for the residential uses upstairs.
And the employees.
Yes.
Employees are considered a part of that calculation for the farm use.
Okay, cool. Is this on public water and sewer?
Yes, we're
Yeah,
hoping
that's
to
what I
use
thought.
that to put
Yeah.
forward. So, and I do have, sorry to interrupt you, do have like Andy, he's our project manager, kind of helping us out, so if I might defer to him. if that's
Yeah,
all
of
right.
course. And then, the driveway width, swing and turnaround, has the fire guy seen it?
He has, and he's approved of it.
All right, thank you, Ed.
There you go.
Right.
All right, that's
Yeah.
good.
Oh, and then where are the chickens?
Okay, so we also farm on Elsbeth's parents' property up on Sand Hill Road.
Ah,
So we have a farm up there that is going to be primarily the chickens, but also moving more toward perennial crops, fruiting crops. So that'll be primarily fruiting trees, orchard, chickens. Here will be more vegetables, day-to-day intensive growing. So it's kind of, we're in 2 locations, but they're 10-minute drive. It's nice.
And then we don't need any workforce stipulation for units here, because it's only 2 units.
No, they've not submitted a CUP for this
Okay.
to be workforce.
Okay, yeah, I don't think so.
Stephanie?
I noticed that you said you wanted to do new picks. And I think you've got plenty of parking, but I do want to know, number one, about the parking. Are you planning to pave, or are you going to use more gravel?
It'll be gravel.
Gravel.
Yeah, like a hard packed gravel.
Okay.
We do, like I mentioned, we've done 100 members pick up at the farm. Usually there's within that 100, there's about 70 that pick up. And usually about 40 to 60 cars may come staggered over time. If we needed to do, say, overflow parking, we could do some more overflow parking here if we needed to. Probably maintaining, on the grass, because that would
So
be
that
just.
will be grass, that area.
That'll be, yeah, that'll be all grass in the back. That's just like where we're probably gonna push the snow.
Yep.
And once we hit, can we zoom out on that just a bit? Yeah, maybe a zoom in on this one. So that would be, the overflow parking could be up here, because the parking lot probably that we're proposing would go up to here. Overflow parking could go here, would remain grassed. Yeah.
What about, where are the regular gardens?
Yes, so, if we zoom out even more on this one. So,
Okay.
the main field itself is like pretty much this strip back here. So we did a cover crop and we grew our garlic there this year. Probably doing more garlic there again. But yeah, this whole strip back here is a nice solid
So
3.5.
where is that on relation to the map?
Yes, oh yes, yes. So all this is nice and relatively flat and prime agriculture soil. So we don't want to disturb that with any permanent driveways or anything like that. And then it slopes up here. And this is the 30-unit townhouse development. We abut that property. And then there's this wetland. We do legally have agricultural access just across, and this is a nice flat 3-acre field, high and dry.
Oh, it's dry.
Yeah, surprisingly. I think it's a little.
I thought the way it was written, it was the wetland.
No, yeah. So this wetland, I believe, is from the pond up on Hunter Farm Road. There's a big pond, old farm, Hunter Farm. He has a old pond. I'm sure it's many years old. That is actually what I think feeds this. So this is actually mostly, it's designated wetland, of course, but it's not usually standing water, running water, anything like that. It's just a wet area because I think it goes kind of underground. And then it kind of dumps in the back of the property, as well as, there's a lot of other water.
I was wondering if you were planning on or thinking about using the backside, which you would probably access from McDowell, but I'm
Yeah.
just curious, because I don't know what those lines are. Is
That is
that all wetland
Yes.
too?
Yeah, we do. I have we've walked it. There's possibility of, we could build up here, but we haven't even honestly thought much about that.
Is
but
that woodland or is it open?
It's woodland.
So you could use it for planting?
It's woodland. It's mature woodland.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, this is a nice. It's probably not big. It's like a half acre of relatively dry area. But then we get this wetland. There is another little piece here that looks small, but we weren't planning on doing anything. Our immediate goal is the farm market.
Looks good. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else before I open public comment? All right, so we open up the public comment. Francie?
I don't want to disappoint you. I just, of course, wetlands, wondering about wetlands, and I think you said they were delineated and signed. Yeah, and this was,
And it's a recent.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's still valid.
2021, I believe,
Yeah.
when they subdivided.
yeah, and I see wetland buffer line there. You, wetland
It's all there.
About that, yeah. It's a little hard to tell where the wetlands are on this, but,
Yeah, there's-
delineated. I think,
There's wetland
I
buffer line.
I think
Yeah.
agriculture, I think it's a forestry and agricultural friendly state. And I believe you can do things in the wetland buffer, in terms of naturally vegetated. I think that, I don't know, I haven't looked at, and I think, I'm impressed by how thorough you are, so I think you know more than we do about this.
I can talk about it a bit. So legally in the state, and I know this a lot because we go through organic certification every year. In New Hampshire, we can actually plant right into the wetland buffer. We obviously choose not to. But we're kind of right on the edge of the buffer.
Yeah.
And the buffer is 25 to 50 feet typically. I think this is a 25-foot wetland buffer that's on here. And we maintain, like I said, 25-foot buffers all around anyway, so we wouldn't, there's no disturbance.
Yeah, the town has a 50-foot, it varies town to town. Some towns don't have any, and so it's left up to the state, and they're just the jurisdictional wetland. We have a buffer, but I haven't looked into the ag.
Yeah, we're pretty much exempt. We could even graze right up to the wetland itself, just
No.
leave, yeah, it's,
Always.
I mean,
It's like,
it's great.
let's
I mean,
muck around
it's great
and,
for agriculture because it gives us flexibility. We try to take, wood products if we can, so it's, obviously we respect the buffer because we don't want, as a farm, we want to keep those natural buffers. It benefits us because, wildlife use those buffers, birds use those buffers, insects use those buffers, hide and live and lay their eggs in those buffers. So we want to maintain.
It's important, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Danica, can you make that bigger? Because I think that
There is a wetland buffer
and
line
it
right
is 50
there.
feet already.
Yep.
Yeah, 50
Yeah.
feet.
And that's the 50 feet.
Okay, I was wondering,
Yeah.
because you'd mentioned 20 feet, 20
Yeah.
feet before, and I was wondering what that's the 50-foot.
Yeah, it is. It says 50 feet there.
And
Oh,
it's,
yeah, I see it.
I did have a follow-up question.
Um,
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right. Yes, go ahead.
You mentioned the possibility of Danica, if you could just scroll down, bring down a little bit, utilizing that space up there.
this.
What did you mentioned something that you had approved access to that area?
Well, just for tractor usage.
Sure.
Not for road, not for vehicles. It goes down. This is usually, like when they, Overlook Farm used to hay up here. So they would we have tractor access basically right now. If we did say, like a building or a barn or something agricultural related, we would just talk with the state whenever we need to, but that's not on our plan
So
at
there's
all.
there's no driveway, there's no disruption of the wetland?
No.
It's just driving across?
Just mowing. We've been mowing for the last 2.5 years, and we just drive the tractor and mow it. Once or twice a year, depending on. But there's no road. If you walked out there, you wouldn't even be able to tell if we've driven up there. But it is a nice area in the future for us to plant, something.
I just wanted to clarify, I saw down on the lower part, there's a line to be abandoned, so is that
That was the old-
their property they're gonna keep that section of property
Yeah,
for use?
when they subdivided the vet, this is the new line.
Okay, so that's not something we're dealing with at all?
No,
That's already
that's
been
just
done?
left on the
Okay.
survey. That was the old line.
Do we have anything else?
We have a lot of people here, someone must have something to say.
They're all in support.
Oh, there we go, look at that.
Yeah. So, do I have,
Carl, can I just make one?
yes, please.
So I have no concerns, and I'm grateful to see that there's a lighting plan submitted. I would just recommend that there's a condition of approval that I can review and approve that to make sure it meets
Okay.
the max height and foot candles, but other than that, I have another issue.
One thing I did notice on the staff report is that, adding a bike rack, which we've been trying to do to all retail spots, and encourage people with their little electric bikes. And then also a crosswalk to get to the sidewalk, because you do have residential all around you, so people could walk to you, but it would be nice for them, and I don't even know who makes the crosswalk.
The crosswalk would be something through DPW we coordinate.
Okay.
The bike rack, we don't really have the ability to request it, but we have the ability to discuss it with you as if you're amenable
We
to
can-
it. Is it something you can?
Request.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to encourage people to walk and to bike to the farm. So yeah, a bike rack is something that we would
And
absolutely.
it's like one of the only bikeable roads
Yes,
we have in
yes.
Peterborough, so it makes sense that
Yeah.
people not be leaving their bikes in front of your store doors.
And a huge benefit to this location is the walkability to downtown. It is a mile, but it is very doable.
It's a nice mile.
Yeah.
It's a sidewalk too, I mean,
Yeah, and it has sidewalks.
That's one of the few streets in town.
Yes, which is excellent. We have people that bike and walk to Greengrocer from the community, as well as Roy's and everything downtown. So it's a great location.
All right.
I'm right.
Well, yeah, having a crosswalk there just because of the new development next to you too.
Yes.
It's obviously going to be.
Yeah, I don't know anything about like the process for that. Would that be something that we would have to?
It would
I
just be
s-
coordinating with me and
Yeah, I would,
DPW.
yeah, Danica would be, but.
Because one thing that could be an outcome is that, and I actually did reach out to them ahead of this and they haven't gotten back to me, but it's very possible that they say this isn't, not that they would, but they could say it's not a good location and we don't actually want to work with you on
Because
doing
of
with
sightlines.
Sightlines, for instance, but we will discuss with them and if they find a good place for it, it would probably just be that we're putting paint out.
One more thing that's on the, your report, Danica, is to discuss tenant-only signage. And I mean, I personally think that we can leave it up to you guys. You've got plenty of parking there
Right.
if you want to. But
Right.
I think the board should at least,
If you feel
I
it's
agree-
worth
I agree
adding,
with you.
yeah.
I think it's sort of like, there's enough parking there. I mean, you, like at the Congregational Church on Concord Street, the tenants have a sign that says that parking is for them, so that they, no one should take it.
but if they don't want to,
But it's, I don't think the board needs to really make that an issue for you. How are we doing?
Good, good.
Okay.
Anyone have an objection to me making the motion?
No, please do.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve this misuse project on parcel U0290270000 as defined in the application with the following conditions. That the lighting plan be approved in coordination with the building and planning office. That the swale through the center of the property be maintained to ensure that potential erosion is mitigated. And that the applicant approach the DPW to consider a crosswalk.
Is the crosswalk something that we, I mean, isn't that purely the town doing it? Is that, I mean, the applicant, like,
But should we put encourage, but rather than, or should we
What
leave
is,
it out?
they don't,
I don't know.
I mean, what do they have to do? Isn't it up to us, isn't it up to our town to put a crosswalk in? I mean, they don't have anything to do with putting a crosswalk in. I mean, I want a
They
crosswalk.
can ask. They can ask.
I don't think
Yeah,
it
but-
should be a condition though in the
Okay.
approval.
Sure.
All right,
Yep.
cross it out.
I feel like they've demonstrated that they're gonna probably do that.
That's like the bike rack.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
if that is satisfactory, do I have a second?
A second.
All in favor? Okay, thank you so much.
When are you gonna build? Luck. Thank you.
As soon as we can. Thank you so much.
Nice presentation.
Yes, very thorough.
Oh, P.S. your neighbors build the blanks, said here.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So,
There's yet another.
Yeah, I thought that was
so for, so our next, so are we ready? So, the next thing are the minutes from August 11th and the August 13th.
Oh wait, we gotta make sure we
sidewalk.
do the continuance for the last.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. Excuse me, got it. So, when I read this next application from John Koppel, there seemed to be a lot of stuff in the staff report that was questioning what it's being used for, because it seemed in the past that he may have suggested he was going to use it for personal storage, including personal storage. And it just was unclear whether it really made sense to bring him in and then have us say, well, you can't use it that way. So Danica has spoken to him and he would like us to continue to November, I have it written here. 10? Yeah, November 10th. And it will give John and the building department some time to consider, so when he comes, he won't be wasting money on in front of us. Yeah, with Fieldstone, because they don't do it for free. So, so do I have a motion?
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
Because there were quite a number of things that were highlighted here.
Yes, and
So
that,
I just want to make sure all of them will be covered.
sure, sure.
On the John Koppel thing,
On the-
actually, we can't talk about it
Yeah.
except to extend it without his presence.
Okay,
Right.
fair enough.
So,
So now we
yes,
just
but
have to
they,
trust that Danica does it.
but that's exactly why we did it.
Okay.
Because there were so many
So
things,
many.
as that you highlighted. So do I have a motion to continue?
I'll make a motion to continue till November 10th.
Second.
All in favor?
Mhm.
All right, now we can do the minutes.
And you specifically wanted November 10th and not October 10th? Or no? Okay.
November,
Specifically November,
asked
yeah.
for
Okay.
November.
I was going to bring up October. I think October 10th would be our normal meeting. Or the first Monday in October. The second Monday in October
yeah.
is a holiday.
Right,
So
so
it'll be
we'll be
on
meeting
Wednesday.
October
So we will
15th.
be meeting on the Wednesday that week,
That
right?
Wednesday, yes.
So I think I wanted the whole board to know
Good,
that.
thank you.
Yep.
All right, so do we have any problems or corrections for the minutes from August 11th?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guess what? Let's see. Yes. Let's see, August, which one's this? On the second page, the third to the last paragraph, it's talking about shoreline. She did want to qualify for the record, the plan reflected that the new septic system was even in the 50-foot buffer. Is that true? Is it was or was not? This is
Qualify
talking,
if it was.
reflect that the new septic tank was in the 50-foot buffer or was not in the 50-foot?
I think it was not, but we can check.
Because that's what I
Well,
thought it
yeah.
was supposed to
If
be.
it was.
Yeah.
No, I think
well-
that's what my question was.
I think it really was the question whether the new septic tank was planning to be in there. I think that was our question.
We can always reword it. We can go back to the recording and just reword it to make sure it's
Okay.
clear.
I think that
So we'll
needs to be
clarify
clear,
that. Sure,
not or
sure.
it was.
Sure, sure.
And I think that might have been the only thing. Yeah. That's the only thing in that one. Do you want to do both together?
Well, we're going to do, if there's no other, do I have a motion to approve with Stephanie's corrections?
I can't.
Oh, right,
Don't look
you
at me.
can't. Gary can't either. You weren't here.
I know, I was just moving it
I
along.
make a motion to approve with my correction.
All right.
Second.
There you go. All in favor. There we go.
And in the sidewalk,
Yes.
again, on the second page, in the paragraphs, it's the second down. It's, the way the wording is, Parker explained that he had no intention of doing anything with the buffer area except to make sure the area was clear of trees. I don't think that that's what he said. He's not clearing it of trees.
That's what I remember.
He's clearing it of all the trees?
No, I don't think he meant all.
Clearing it of
I think
dead
he was-
trees?
I think he may not have used the words, but he was basically saying, you know.
So that's my question. I just think it sounds like something that we would never
Threatening.
approve. So I just want to make sure what it is. And then the only other thing is the spelling thing.
Okay.
So I can give this. Perfect.
With those, do I have a motion to approve?
Yes, please.
All in favor? Who were there?
Who was it, just me and you?
And
Yeah,
they,
that was, that wasn't the
And
minutes, that
Andy-
was the.
it says Andy was there too.
That was a site visit. Okay, so,
Oh, no, Andy was absent. Okay.
the only thing that I saw was, I think we probably, when we mentioned about the, who was going to do the CIP, we should put those names in just as a, because it's mentioned that 2 members, but it didn't name them.
Oh, okay.
I know I'm one of them.
Yeah, we just
And
signed.
Gary wasn't here. Are you doing it, Gary?
Yeah, Gary.
CIP?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just signed all.
We have a bunch of
people.
us, because I was gonna do it too. 'cause
Sarah's
Right, so
doing
there's
it
3 of
too.
us?
So
Okay.
we've signed and approved all of the people on the CIP.
Yeah,
It's just good to have it on the record, I think,
Mm-hmm.
to have it in the record.
Okay, so that then brings us to other business. And the one thing before we actually start scheduling and, determining what we're going to do for zoning this year, just at the last Affordable Housing Committee meeting, Tricia mentioned the 241 Union project. And I was under the impression that our original intent, when we approved that, there would be 3 workforce housing units, and she says there's going to be 0 workforce housing units. So I wanted to know what happened and talked to Danica, and Danica made it clear to me that that was, the way the board handled that was an error. And that we did not require any kind of workforce CUP. And so therefore, it was sold without any requirements to do that. So we need to be more thorough going forward if we have a workforce housing project.
That's not how I remember it at all.
I
have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so my question is, did they receive more density?
No. We
Because-
waived nothing, we gave nothing.
Okay, I think that's important.
Well, I thought we did. I thought we gave them 3. Yeah, I did.
I was under the impression we did 2, but apparently we didn't.
We discussed it.
There was nothing
But
to
that's
give
it.
them though.
Right,
To be out, just to
exactly.
clarify, there was nothing to be given.
Right.
They
No,
just
no,
said,
I-
we think that we might want to do this. They never submitted a CUP and
Well, I'll tell you,
No,
they
we've
gave,
already
I
discussed
remember
it.
clearly,
Yep.
and they made very clear that they were going to do that,
Yeah.
because they were gonna do 6, but they could only do 3, because we weren't gonna give them more. So I feel it's
Can't we
bait
pull
and
the plan
fish,
up?
but because we don't have to, because whatever we did, we didn't do what we needed to do to make it actually stick. So that's,
Regardless, yeah,
so
regardless
that's
of
it.
whether
It
they were
doesn't
in
matter
bad
what we
faith or not.
worded, because in the wording, all of us were talking about it,
Exactly.
but none of us knew enough to realize we needed to do that. And there were other things, Dana mentioned, there wasn't even a real plan in front of us. So, so it was
So
not.
we never should have gone ahead.
It was not our
with it.
finest
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
So I just want to bring that to our attention so that going forward, we're just a little more,
Now, maybe in
Can
one
I-
of our workshops, we could talk about what that would look like.
yeah. Well,
So we don't end up like crushing an applicant by accident.
Well, I mean, we didn't know what we had to do, so it'd be nice to know exactly what we have to do
Now, I
to
will
make
say
it
this,
stick,
that,
if someone asks for it.
Danica also informed me that it's actually much better than anything we asked for. Because we were only going to get 3 affordable units. Now, I think they were going to rent them at that point.
Yes.
But now they're being sold, but they're being sold for like under $300,000 per
Oh, wow.
unit.
Amazing.
So that is, like, we're gonna get 30 of those, and if they really live up to that, which you're
That's-
advertising.
you work those numbers backwards, that's affordable to what would be considered low
Moderate.
to low.
Moderate.
Yeah.
No, lower,
Low.
low to very low income people in this community.
So I mean, by accident, it's way better.
Don't say it. Everybody knock on wood,
Yeah.
so nothing changes.
Well, and
No victory
also,
lap.
we just need to make sure we'll have to see it play out and make sure that isn't, I mean, we can't do anything about it, but we'll see if that's in
Well,
fact.
he's advertising those numbers right now, so you know.
We'll see. So we failed upwards is what you're saying.
We fail up.
I do want to,
We
the
lucky.
one of the zoning things I want to bring up that I want to do this year is like, literally the one, I have a great deal, I dislike West Peterborough's density setup. Like, it doesn't make sense. And like, it's the one thing for multifamily where we just don't have it, it's just at the discretion of the board, which is odd. We should pick a number.
That's what I was new.
Yeah, it's a bad.
I'm excused.
Yes. Well, the other thing I would say is it's not only does it not make sense, we should pick a number, but it has this bizarro thing where it's, not bizarre, I shouldn't be criticized that much, but it doesn't make sense to me that you can have 4 units per acre if it's single family, and then 8 units if it's a duplex, and then just whatever if it's
Whatever the board
multifamily.
says you can have.
For multifamily. And it's just, because 8 single-family houses on tiny lots, or 4 duplexes that house 8 families, whatever, it doesn't matter. There's no reason we should discriminate against one type of housing. Like, if someone wants to build 8 tiny homes, or 4 duplexes, there's no reason we should like both. Like, we should just have a number for residential in the West Peterborough district. Like, if it's 8 across the board, I'm happy with that.
Is it 8 an acre?
8 an acre. Well, no, it's 4 if you build a single family, it's 8 if you do a duplex, and it's whatever the board feels like.
For
If you
multifamily,
multifamily.
yeah.
Which is the only district we do that.
That's
Which is
where
great.
we-
So we just need to,
Wild.
let's just pick,
Yeah.
we should just pick 8, and just say 8, and then be done, and then,
Or we should just.
or talk about it, but I'm saying we should talk about it, like, we need to decide.
Well,
That's
can I just ask a question, though, going back a little bit to when we were seeing them? I vividly remember them coming to us and saying, you know, we can only have 3. And at meetings, they said the words, we were going to have 3 affordable units or workforce units. How come that's not in the, or is it?
It's in
the notes,
in the minutes.
minutes.
It's in the minutes.
And therefore, but that
But
doesn't
we
hold
didn't-
water?
No, because we did not require a CPU. We needed to go,
It's not enshrined in language.
it's not enshrined in that decision. It
It needs to be, I approve.
They
and
would
then
have
we
to
all
come
vote on
before
it.
us to get a CPU for workforce housing.
CUP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the CUP.
All right, I-
CPU, CPU or
Computer, I know, computer. Okay,
Anyway.
wow,
There we
okay, I'm
go.
glad we at least have an explanation for
Yeah,
that.
so I brought that up.
Thank
So
you.
we have Gary saying, now moving on to the other business that we're supposed to do. First of all, when are we going to meet?
So, we actually have no applications for October. So, I actually have, I got asked to babysit the night of September 29th. So I wouldn't be opposed to starting our zoning work October 15th and not meeting September 29th.
Okay.
But that means if we start October 15th, my hope is that those who want to bring proposals forward we're bringing concrete stuff to look at to that meeting. My time is going to be a little bit more limited this winter, just because I'm pushing forward the master plan and the hazard mitigation plan. So I'm hopeful that we can streamline our process a little bit, and what's most important to us, we can really get going in November and in December.
Can I just ask you, I know we don't have any proposals for October yet, but I think that this has happened in the past, and we were planning on having a workshop, and then some proposals came, and we ended up not really being able to have the workshop because we had to deal with the proposals since it was a regular meeting.
It's the opposite right now.
What?
We don't have in years past, we've had so many applications that we've moved them to the workshop meetings. We have no applications, so I'm proposing that we use both of our October meetings to just start hashing out.
But if
zoning
something comes, a proposal comes in, are we gonna have to push our
We have 30 days.
workshop?
Well, I still think we should hold on to our zoning workshops for the rest of the months that I have put in here. So, like November 10th.
I know that's
asking-
happened.
She's asking, are you gonna take more cases?
Well, we can't,
Well,
We can't not, right? We can't not take cases.
I mean, it's too, how, what's
Today's the deadline
Right.
Today's the
to be
deadline.
heard.
Oh, for
Yeah,
October?
yeah.
So we know.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah, so
okay.
today's the deadline,
That's what I was wondering.
so we absolutely
That's not
will
gonna-
not have an application
That's not gonna
for
change.
either of those October dates.
Okay.
Absolutely not, yep.
So now, can I ask what the state has put on our docket that we have not attended to? I know affordable housing is one of those things, and then making the parking minimum changes,
Yeah, so I have a couple
right?
points.
Because I feel like we can't,
The parking minimum changes, I think, in theory, should be easy for us to do considering the state has led that charge. That is something that we should do. In terms of,
can we do that just by asking the select board to change them? No, okay,
No.
just asking.
No, it's in our, it's in our.
it's gotta be by town meeting.
Okay.
The housing question, the question that I recall us having was whether or not we needed to have a revised workforce housing ordinance. And while I think we absolutely do, because there is literally no incentive for anyone submitting a CUP for a workforce housing development, we technically do have one, which does meet the minimum to be designated as a housing champion, albeit there's other things, other criteria to be a housing champion that we don't have at all, that maybe we would want to consider so that we can start racking up points so that we can be designated as a housing champion. I had pulled that aside to start researching, and I don't know if anyone else is interested in it.
Well, I have a meeting scheduled with Joanne to go over what they're doing and what they did in Jaffrey and how their incentive zoning works.
Well,
Yeah,
that'd be
because
great to
somebody,
hear.
when I brought forward the other one, somebody said, well, did we even look into Jaffrey? And so that's what I'm going to do with Joanne.
Great.
Yeah,
But I don't know if it's dealing with everything you're talking about
No,
there,
the
so-
housing champion designation has a whole list of criteria, and you get a certain number of points for having met those criteria.
And who gives it?
Is that just,
Can you send is it a list that
It's
you
New
need to
Hampshire.
send out?
I can send it out to everyone, but it's through the New Hampshire Bureau of Economic Affairs. They give that designation, and in turn, you're eligible for a pot of funding.
Okay.
So there's things like having a workforce housing ordinance, having ADUs allowed by right. We have actually a good amount of them, but we don't have enough, I believe, right now to actually secure the designation. So I bring it up because if that's really what we're trying to focus on, there might be other things that are more attainable than rehashing workforce housing, but maybe we do workforce housing and other things.
Yeah,
Well,
I
keep
I
me
just,
informed.
yeah, I just want to say about the housing champion, that other towns that have the housing champion have benefited, tangibly benefited
Yes.
from
What
that.
towns are they?
Well, Jeffrey is one of them.
Mhm.
And I talked with the Jeffrey Select Board Chair, and it really has made a difference for them. So I really am very interested.
yeah.
Yeah.
Does Jeffrey have owner occupied ADU?
I don't know.
I think they do.
I think we should just really look at what is in the housing, what are the criteria for the housing champion?
And so I can send that out so
Yeah,
everyone kind of looks at it.
I'm
Yeah.
opening it.
Yeah, because I think you'll see that there are things that we have, like for instance, one of the things that you get points for is cluster subdivision, which
Which we have.
Peterborough's version is called open space residential subdivision, so we would already get points for that.
Exactly.
But if our goal is to reach that housing champion designation, revising workforce housing might not really give us all that many points because we already have it, although I understand there's really no incentive to using it. So.
I mean, when we say that though, it feels like a very strong statement. When I read that regulation, what I read into it is that it offers the developer things, potentially conditions that they otherwise would not be able to do under the zoning of that property. So that's my understanding from reading the reg. And that it's intended to stimulate innovation. And so there are things that they could potentially do that otherwise they couldn't. I mean, the board would still have to approve it, but that they would be considered.
It's just weak, it doesn't have enough.
It's not as strong as it could be.
Guidelines.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Well, what we've struggled with is when we've tried to get those guidelines, they become almost like shackles, in my opinion, because I think the board has a tendency to come up with these specific numbers, and we have no idea whether they're economically viable. So if we say you can have 30% more houses, is that going to move the needle for anybody doing the project?
Well, and yeah, go ahead.
And so I think we need to have some real knowledge through developers or somebody that can really kind of come in and help us with trying to understand it. Because I don't want to spend a lot of time coming up with numbers for doing it and then find no one's doing it because it doesn't work.
Yeah, fair enough. I think every project is probably a little different, and the way I
Yeah.
read the regs is that someone could propose a development with workforce housing that in the way they want to do it doesn't exactly align with zoning. And so the board is able to approve them if they meet the requirements for workforce housing. So it's not a exact 30%, or it's not, the board has a lot of leeway. Now, you might not want that leeway, but it currently, as I read it, it's there.
I wonder if
It
you...
is. It is.
But it's Weasley.
I just read it, so I think that it's up
Weasley,
to
which makes it
us.
hard, right? So then here we
It's
are on
up
the
to-
board. I think it means they can build 10. Stephanie says 3, right?
But if you,
And
but-
Sarah says 15, and then we're all just like looking at each other because it's Weasley.
Yeah, but I guess the other way, the opposite of that would be the developer is working with whatever lot they have and is trying to figure out how to make it work. And we have the discretion to allow that or not under the workforce housing. So it's really a little bit more on the onus of the developer to think about what they would like to ask for. We can decide whether we would approve that or not, based on the discretion we take. But if you specify something hard, but let me just say one more thing about that, and then I'll say about the hard. But then the onus is on us to say, okay, if that's what you want to do, and you're going to do this many workforce housing units, we will approve it, as long as, we have the CUP that very specifically designates that's what you're going to do. So that puts the onus on us to be clear and definitive about that. But my concern about specifying something hard is it may or may not, to your point, Carl, that may work under some circumstances and maybe not others. Every lot and situation is a little different. So, just for consideration.
Well, the language that Gary is referencing about West Peterborough, where the board has discretion for multifamily, seems to me like you could actually take that and say, well, that's fine if you're doing workforce or any kind of affordable housing. I mean, you could take that kind of, and it's already in the zoning.
It's already in the
But
zoning.
have it be specified for workforce. And then we wouldn't be in, because we spent a lot of time with this thing on 241, figuring out how you were going to fit that in that lot and have that 30-foot buffer.
Exactly.
And that was all he could fit in, was 30 units. I mean, there was no more
That was
space.
it, right.
To me, we'll put it this way, if we had that and you were looking for a developer who actually is the one doing the development now, saying, okay, I could fit these 2-bedroom townhouses in this space and they would be the kind of pricing that Danica is saying, we've been like, sure, because we were gonna give them 3, and the rest of them were gonna be market.
Exactly, so for purchase, it falls well within the workforce housing.
Yeah, so if we could take that kind of language and just have it be specific to a workforce house, affordable housing
Right.
ordinance, and get somebody like who is doing a project now that is exactly the kind of thing we're looking for.
Yes.
But I don't think that it makes sense for us to limit that to West Peterborough because the land's gone. Like-
There's no land there.
No, if the board has something town-wide that has discretion around workforce, that's fine with me. My annoyance with the West Peterborough is that we're just talking regular underlying zoning for just building, market rate, whatever, that has no specifics. It's just up to the board.
Right.
And it sucks because the thing that, I mean, it's a miserable experience because when it's just market rate and it's entirely at the discretion of the board, then all it was is 2 groups in here. One group telling us that, basically it's one group telling you suck if you make it high, and another group telling you suck if you make it too low. Like, because it's just people giving different visions. Like, I think in every single other district, for every single other type of housing, other than multifamily in West Peterborough, has a specific number of what you can build.
Well, the only other place you could do it besides West Peterborough is in general res.
Yeah.
So it would have to be, because we're not gonna revisit the family thing again, I don't think.
Well, but I do want to revisit. I want to revisit family just for within the TNOZ. Because like last year, you could already do a duplex, a single family or a duplex on 10,000 square feet in the TNOZ, but then it was 40 or 50 outside the TNOZ. And like last year, the whole debate around multifamily in the family was all about everything outside the TNOZ. It was stuff on Sand Hill Road. It was the huge lot up on the giant lot.
On Old Street.
Yeah, on Old Street. Like that's where all the discussion was. So but right now in the TNOZ regulations, which require water and sewer and has a very delineated boundary close to town, like we should just don't modify the underlying family district
Right.
zoning.
But make an adjustment to TNOZ.
But make an adjustment to TNOZ to allow multifamily with a specific density that can be lower than the general residence. Like the general res is 5,000.
So you have West Peterborough and TNOZ family and gen res, basically.
The TNOZ goes down to 2,500 or something. doesn't it?
Yeah, but that's specific to general resident, the general residence district within the TNOZ. Because it says, like, there's a little chart that shows the two. It's like family gets this and general res gets this. Like you can build, it's 5,000 for the first one, I think, for general res, and then 2,500 for like the additional units.
I think that's what it is in the TNOZ.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, TNOZ, for general residents. If you're in the family district within the TNOZ, it's 10,000 square feet for a single family or duplex, and then multifamily isn't allowed. So I'm saying, like, we don't have to propose to the density that we're allowing for the general residents within TNOZ. I'm not saying we have to do one for every 2,500 square feet, but I'm saying we could do multifamily at a lower density.
We've changed family to 20,000 square feet. So in essence, in the TNOZ, there's the same requirements, except in family, you're not allowed to have any multifamily in the TNOZ, even in the TNOZ.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So I think we could just change family TNOZ to gen res, which is what we were going to do for the larger thing. Because then it would all be the same.
An easier change, I think, rather than rezone all those lots, like there's a little chart within the thing. There's a little chart that just says within TNOZ, here's the density you can get. Because like the 20,000 thing didn't affect. That was only from family district outside of TNOZ. Because if you're using TNOZ, you could already go to 10,000 square feet. But there's a little chart.
But you can't have multifamily.
Yeah, but that's on the chart. All you have to do is go into the TNOZ regulations.
Just change those.
Look where the family and gen res charts are, and just cross out NA for multifamily, and write in the new allowance for multifamily density. It doesn't, because that way, it doesn't have to be, 2,500 square feet is a lot of housing, and that was a lot of the pushback that people had. We don't have to go to 2,500 square feet.
I
We
agree.
can go to a higher number.
Yeah.
We can pick whatever we want. We can put the multifamily, it can be 10,000 square feet. It
Right.
just gets the multifamily.
Another thought that I have is in a lot of our big houses that are on public water and sewer on the TNOZ, like, why do we care how many units are inside? If they have appropriate parking, right, they have a parking spot for each place, they have appropriate egress, and they fall within the building regulations, like, why do we care? The one difficulty to that is that the new lead paint laws say when you add units, that you have to remediate. So that does give people and, you know, the state said they were gonna send money for that, but that's fat chance. So, I mean, so that is, you know, one potential caveat that makes it a little bit difficult. But like, you know, when you drive down Grove Street and you look at the old Folkway building, like, why do we care how many units are in there? Like, why does that matter? It's not changing the outside structure of the building. And I think that's
So-
what a lot of like Dover and Portsmouth,
Of course, I
And-
mean, physically, there's limitations.
I mean, but you could make, we said you can make a 350 square foot living space. That's in our zoning.
400.
400
400?
Yeah.
is minimum.
Okay, so you can make 400 square feet. So if it's a 1,600 square foot house, you can make 4 units. If you can make it work
Right.
safely.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Right, and
So-
you're not changing the outside, it's not changing the character of the neighborhood. It's,
You could write this.
Well, who wants
paragraph that says
to,
existing.
who wants to get involved with this? Let's do
I
that.
want to focus on
What do you wanna
the
focus on?
inclusionary housing, workforce housing, whatever, inclusionary housing. But I was reading through the Jaffrey zoning, and I saw that they have something, an ordinance, and I actually copied it, about doing, regulating units in a house, how many units you can transpose in a house. And I can bring that to the board and just show it to you, or to whoever wants to, you know, be in charge of, I could send that to you, because it's just one like section. And it goes into a few details about it, about renovating a house and changing the number of units in a house. So, I'm happy to share that. I don't want to take that on. I want to focus on the inclusionary zoning.
sure.
Is there anyone that wants to work with Stephanie on the inclusionary zone?
Is it, are we using workforce housing? Is it workforce housing?
It's a more umbrella.
It's more umbrella.
More umbrella.
Okay. I'll work.
And I don't really know. I mean, I couldn't actually find the zoning amendment in Jaffrey that everybody's been telling me about. Jaffrey has one, and you should look at it. And I couldn't find, I read through the whole damn thing, and I missed it. So that's why I'm going to Joanne.
For the schedule, are we okay just planning to meet October 15th and dedicating that time to zoning work?
Yes.
Okay, and then the other date that I just want to check in on is I have Monday, December 29th on here. I wasn't sure if we'd have people around. It kind of falls sort of funky between the holidays.
Oh, no, thank you.
No? Okay. Would we want to, would we possibly want to do December 8th as our regular meeting and then December 15th as our workshop?
I could do that.
I'd rather meet the 15th than the 20th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have to call in for October 15th.
Okay, that's fine.
And then, just to be super, super clear, the September 29th is off, correct?
Right.
Yeah, I want to redo this and I'll send out a
Okay.
copy to everyone. And then I'll also include the housing champion designation.
Good, perfect.
I did send an email about an upcoming free webinar, and I already forget what day it was, but it'll talk about legislative changes related to planning board related code. So, to be quite honest, I've not actually followed the legislative changes for this year, so there very well could be some other things that we
I
might
think
want
I
to.
signed up for
I've
it.
read them, but
Could I just say, I think I signed up for it even though I'm going to be away when they were doing it. But the thing about signing up for it is even if you can't do it then, they
Yeah, it's
send you.
We do have a report.
They will send you the report and a recording and the
Do they still do it on the Zoom thing?
Yeah, it's on Zoom.
Yeah, it's on
Can you
Zoom.
follow it live?
I mean,
Because
yeah.
I
You
can't
can-
go,
You
but I
can, well, you
I
can follow
sit
it live
home.
at the time, but you can
Yeah.
also get a recording.
No, it's
of
on
the
Zoom.
Yeah,
Of
it's
the
not
Zoom,
more.
and you can get the,
Yeah, it's on
the
Zoom and
document.
can't
You
make it
can
at
actually
that
print
time.
a document. So I would recommend people sign up
I have-
if they
so I
can't
have-
go.
Because I have 3 zoning amendments I definitely want to do, if 5, and 2 more that I would, I have 5 on my list, but 3 that I like, definitely. Which
Wait,
might,
what are they?
so, multifamily for family district within the TNOZ, definitely. Expanding village commercial, rezoning commercial to village commercial. Or rezoning, actually, more than just that. There's lots that need to be rezoned to village commercial, so that's a definite. And then reforming West Peterborough's density maximums. So those are the 3 that I definitely want to do. And then parking minimums is just one that we should look at, which Danica already said that was on my list. And then maybe focusing on village commercial rezoning is enough, but there's other lots that need rezoned. I was especially like within the TNOZ, it would be good to rezone things that make no sense within the TNOZ. We have lots zoned rural, which make no sense. We have lots, like, you know, like is it Prospect Heights, but I always forget the name of it. Yeah, like that one's zoned rural, and there's like, the multifamily condo complex. Like, what do we, so what are we doing? So like rezoning within the TNO. So I would like to start some of the rezoning work of making things
It
actually make
doesn't look
sense.
like we're gonna get anybody in anytime soon for that grant that we've been given but not funded.
Yeah.
No,
So-
because we also have to resubmit to get it.
Right.
And because of the timeline, the last time, we had based our application on what was already being approved at town meeting. So it just, we
Yeah.
haven't been able to catch up
Okay.
with it.
But anyways, that one could come later. But I have the three that I definitely want to do, we have to do, and the parking one we talked about. If we want to come back to rezoning, other stuff, whatever. Also, I'm not sure if I'm gonna run for reelection. So I'm like, I gotta get in all the things I want while I'm still here. So,
I will just really quickly add, I have one small revision to the floodplain regulations that I'm gonna do, and I'm planning on bringing it to the next meeting, and I don't think it'll take more than 15 minutes of our time, so big thank you. I'll have a lot of good reasons as to why I wanna put it forward. But before we break for the night, I just wanted everyone to be aware, a lot of towns are experiencing this, where people are scraping email addresses out of board meeting packets and sending emails to applicants saying that they owe an invoice. So this is one that actually went to an applicant tonight, and he sent it to me. And there's a lot of clues in here about why this would be a phishing email. It says this is something that's been reviewed by the Kingsport Board of Zoning Appeals and the Kingsport Historic Zoning Commission.
This happened to people at night market too.
Yeah.
You heard about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
That people who had contacted to potentially wannabe vendors, I think it was Kingsport, that's why.
Oh, it could have been, yeah.
And their emails had been picked up.
Yeah.
And they got saying that there was a last minute space opening and they'd been
Oh.
invoiced.
Yeah. So this isn't the town of Peterborough having been hacked. This is a very common scam where
Right,
someone will go
'cause
onto
you
the
have
town
public
website.
emails.
Yep, and so
Right.
what you'll notice now is when we're sending out the meeting packets, we've redacted all of that personal information.
Yeah.
So for whatever reason somebody needed it, it's public information, but for the sake of the cybersecurity, we're just redacting it.
Still on the website.
We redacted it.
You did?
Okay.
Yep, we went through and redacted all of it.
I asked for a directory for the membership at our church. They said they can't email it to me, and they can't show the email addresses, and I was,
Yeah, yeah.
so that's, we
So
can't.
that's why.
So if you hear from someone that they've received something like this, tell them that it is a scam. We've never accepted credit card payments. We definitely have not started taking AHC payments. But this is something that, thankfully Jason sent to me and we reported. But it's just something that I wanted to share with you all in case
Yeah, we
you
should
see
put
it
that
or you
on
have
our,
something similar in your own.
Like, on the planning board application, it should say the only way to pay is check,
It does, check and cash.
like, make it very clear. so-
We still had someone come in and ready to pay me $7,000 for an outstanding bill, and I was like, don't,
Whoa.
no. And this is the email address.
Yeah, look at that scam.
This is the email address they
Manning
used.
Town, Peterborough, go.
At USA.com. There you
The
go.
planning is not spelled correctly.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys are noticing those things. It's good to,
Yeah.
And then just to add to that, we recently, as a town, did a big cybersecurity audit. So we have a few things that were, by and large, it was good results, but there are a few little holes that we're going to address.
anyways, I bring this up just
Well,
so
thank you.
you guys know what it looks like and why we're redacting information on applications going forward.
Yeah.
But
Smart, thank you.
Yeah. Wow.
yeah,
And that's just not a, that's just not a little blurb, a little fishing. Now, that's.
no, you just have AI go in. It's all
It's
public
hardcore.
information. What you're applying for. You're applying at 201 Union Street for this type
Two
of thing.
greenhouses.
Yep, and you're just
Wow.
hurry up and generate
And
it,
that's
shoot
the
an
crazy
email.
thing is that it's
AI.
literally, right off of Google, you
Yep.
can do summary.
Yeah,
Dump it in and ask for a summary, and it'll probably do that exact.
It's just, it's
Dark
unbelievable
side of
that
the
you
AI.
get access to your
Yeah, you
personal
put that in
email.
on
it's not my personal email.
No, I mean, but this is Jason's.
Oh, well, right,
That was
because his
personal.
email was published in the application. So when we post the meeting packet online, it says the applicant's email address. So that's why when you guys are seeing it online now, we've started to just black it out altogether. And that includes home address and phone, because, you know, the next level is something called phishing, voice phishing, where you could just take someone's cell phone number off of one of these applications, say, hey, I'm Philip from the town of Peterborough, you owe us a $6,000 bill, here's who to send it to. So we've just gone
And
ahead
we
and
don't
redacted
need
all
to
of
If you could
that.
send it over to Africa, please.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
so
we
we've
don't-
just gone ahead and redacted all of
We
it.
don't need to
To
see
the
that.
Nigerian prince.
No, but there are people who I would bet would ask me, are we accepting an incomplete application because it's not there? So that's why I'm telling you why it's redacted.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
So just before we close this up, I want to make sure, so Gary said what he's interested in doing. Is there, do you want, how should we work this? If you want to work with that, like I'd help you out with at least the thing about TNOZ and West Peterborough thing. And
Is
Stephanie's
anybody interested in
inclusionary.
working on mine?
I can get involved in that. What about anybody else? Is there?
I'll work with Gary.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I'm interested in doing some more research about towns that have been allowing people to fit as many units as they can in the existing structure.
In the envelope.
Yeah,
Lisa, I'll send you what I had from Jeff.
thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm finishing my doctorate, I just
You-
like,
Yeah, so we're leaving you alone.
otherwise.
You're just,
Your doctor.
Oh my God.
but you should do
Retired,
something.
right?
Yeah, I've got
I'm
it.
working.
And I'm,
You'll think about it.
yeah, I'm thinking about what I'd like to get involved in.
All right.
Other than I'm on hazard mitigation this
Yep.
year.
That's important.
There you go.
On what?
Hazard
Hazard.
mitigation.
I thought you said
plan update.
housing mitigation, and I was like, I don't think you need to mitigate the housing.
So,
I think we
do
want
I have
more.
a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Okay. Thank you.